Today, we got a bunch of scrap wood and we're gonna make some projects. That'll do. You've seen this mostly in rich people's kitchens. And it's nice, but we're woodworkers, so let's make it a little bit better with some scrap wood. I picked up this from Harbor Freight. It's a magnetic tool strip. It is $2. It's $1.99, excuse me. Today, we're gonna make this nice little knife holder. We got 2x4, cut down to 18 inches, same exact size. We're gonna cut this down a little bit, so it is about 1 3/4 inches wide. We're gonna cut it down to about 7/8 of an inch thick. And the reason we cut it to those dimensions is so this can slot in there. We're gonna put a nice little dado in there. It can slot in there, sit right in the middle, and then you'll still have a little bit of overlap up here, so this won't actually go all the way through. So we're gonna take this over to the table saw, and we're gonna cut a dado that is 5/8 inches deep, and it's 1/4 inch away from each side. So set your table saw fence 1/4 inch away from the blade, cut one side, flip it around, cut the other side, and then go ahead and get all those in the middle. And if you need a little bit more taken off after that, then you can go ahead and guess and check, taking a very little bit off each time you take a pass. So we've got it slotted in here perfectly. Now we're gonna use some nice hardwood scraps, really small ones that we've got laying around, and we're gonna go ahead and cover this. But before we do that, we gotta screw through these holes. You'll see why. That's what's gonna allow us to hang it on the wall. We do have to do another step later, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, let's cover up that mag strip. So we've got two small scraps here. I think they're gonna work perfect for the top. They're just some maple pieces, but they are a little bit too long on the edge, so we're gonna have to cut them down a little bit. But they're about 1/8 inch thick. You can't really use something thicker than 1/8 inch because the magnet's not strong enough to hold something through a piece of wood that's bigger than 1/8 inch. So you're gonna need to plane something down so it's about 1/8 inch. The smaller the better, but it's basically just a little piece of veneer that we're using. All right, now we're just gonna glue these down, and we're gonna be careful not to use too much glue. We don't wanna make a mess in here. Now glue it up, we'll get some clamps on it, and then we'll be pretty close to done. We're gonna let this sit for a while, and we'll come back, finish it off. So here it is sanded. Remember we said we drilled those holes, so those are in the back now. So now what we're gonna do, put it face down, and then continue those holes all the way through the maple. Do both sides. So when we put it on the wall, we can screw through these, through the magnets, and then into the wall, and then put your knives on it. Nice. Now we're gonna get some butcher block oil on it. We need to do butcher block or cutting board oil because it's gotta be food safe, just like cutting board. This is Howard butcher block oil. It is beeswax mineral oil mix, so it's food safe. If you want some of this for yourself, you can go ahead and pick it up at the link in our description. All right, so this one's complete now, so stick to the end of the video because you're gonna see this in action in our apartment at the end of the video. This project's gonna be with some 2x4 scraps from another project we made in this video. We've got some scraps from that, we're gonna use that. And then we've got this piece, which was from a coffee table. I don't know, it's probably like 2.5 feet long. So we're gonna use this as well. So the first thing we're gonna do is take one piece over to the miter saw, cut it down to 14 inches long, and then cut two pieces off it that are 1/2 inch thick. So we'll end up with two pieces that are 14 inches long, 1/2 inch thick, and then 1.5 inches wide, which is how wide the 2x4 is already. Then we're gonna take two pieces and cut them down to 12 inches long, and those ones are also gonna be 1/2 inch thick and 1.5 inches wide. So important when we put this together, the 14 inch pieces need to be inside of the 12 inch pieces. We're just gonna go ahead and glue it, brad nail it, and then let it sit for a little bit, let all that glue firm up. Ready? Frame is done. Now what we're gonna do is just put a face on this with a bunch of pieces of 2x4 that are cut down to 12 inches long, and these ones are gonna be 1/4 inch thick. And we're gonna put a little bit of gap in between each of the ones we put down, so you'll probably need about 8 of them. So this is what I'm gonna use for those. I cut some pieces off the 2x4, so I got two pieces that are 12 inches long, and these are what we're gonna use to get our 3/8 inch thick slats. So go ahead, cut these down to 3/8 inches. You only need 8 of them. Maybe do 9 just to be safe, or if you want your gaps to be a little bit smaller. But go ahead, cut these down to 3/8 inches on your table saw. So we got 7 of them cut out from one 2x4. We didn't end up using this one because we're just gonna go with 7. We're gonna space these out about 5/8 of an inch away from each other. We're not gonna measure. We're just gonna kind of eyeball it and go for it, because sometimes that's more fun and faster. So we're just gonna go ahead, do a dry run, kind of space them out. 1/2 inch to 5/8 inch away, make sure they're all look a little bit better, and then go ahead, glue them, brad nail them, get them all down. So what we're gonna do now is make a basket for the bottom of this. So the basket is going to be as tall as these 3 slats, so we gotta measure it. Yours might be a little bit different, but mine is about 5 7/8. So we're gonna cut this down, 5 7/8 long, 3/8 inch thick, and of course, 1.5 inches wide. So then for the bottom and the face of our basket, we're gonna use that other 12-inch 2x4 piece that we didn't cut down earlier. And then we're gonna cut 4 pieces off of this that are the same exact dimensions as these. 3/8 inches thick, 1.5 inches wide, 12 inches long. All right, so we're gonna put this aside for now, and we're gonna go ahead, grab these smaller pieces, and then we're gonna grab 3 of these, and we're gonna put some glue on the top and bottom of 2 of them. And these are gonna be our edge pieces. Now go ahead, line those up, brad nail them in. And the reason I didn't glue the 3rd one yet is because we're just gonna place this on top, and then we're gonna look at it from a bird's eye view and make sure that those slats are all lined up with the ones underneath it. Now we're gonna take this, flip it up, have the piece that you want on your bottom facing you. You're gonna put a little bit of glue on the end grain of these 2 opposite pieces. And then brad nail those into the edge. Now we're just gonna glue this down and then line it up and clamp it. Ta-da! Here it is. Went ahead, sanded it to 120, then 220, and I kind of like the way it looks right now. I like the natural wood look, so we're not gonna finish it with anything. We're gonna put this up for mail and magazines and stuff in our apartment as well, so we'll see you there. All right, guys, we hung it up over the sink. And there you have it, knife holder and then the spoon thingy. I think it's really nice, looks good, love the maple, and I mean, that was all scrap wood. And then that $2 magnet strip from Harbor Freight. So great, easy scrap wood project. Definitely could sell these for a lot of money. I don't know how much, I didn't do the research, but let me know how much you think we should sell it for. Let's take a look at the mail rack. Yeah, good, mail. So we ended up putting it underneath the key rack, magnetic key rack if you want to see how we made that, because up high was too high, so yeah. There it is, mail rack. Not much else to say about it. I like it, think it looks good. I'm happy we went with the nice natural wood look. Yeah, back to the shop. Well guys, that's gonna do it. I hope that helps get rid of some of your scraps. It definitely got rid of some of mine. But yeah, let us know if you liked the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below any other videos you'd like us to make. I'll see you in the next one. Guys, if you like that video, click right here to check out a jig that will make you a ton of money. And if you don't want to watch that, you should watch this one. It's 100 woodworking projects that you can make, and you should make.